Hi, I'm Max Booth, and I am a human skeleton. I'm reading from my new book, I Believe in Mystical Bones. I am at my bookshop in Selma, Texas, Fiendish Books, doing a live reading, completely ignoring the massive audience in front of me. What you need to know about this book before I begin reading. It's about a small press named Fiendish Books, operated by a husband and wife named Daniel and Eileen. They get an unsolicited submission one day called I Believe in Mystical Bones. The book is about this strange entity named Mystical Bones. Once you summon him, every night he infiltrates your dreams and seals your bones one by one, replacing them with an unknown substance. How to summon him? It's really easy. You have to break a bone while actively thinking about him. That's the only way to summon this creature. So don't do that. What I'm about to read is going to be, he's been trying to find who wrote this book. Finally, after looking and looking, this rando on social media DMs him a link to a video chat saying, I have the answers you need, join this video chat and we will talk. When he gets this link, he's at HEB with his wife. He runs out of HEB and opens the link on his phone. And this is the scene I'm going to read. Okay. There was no opportunity to catch his breath once he made it outside the HEB. Daniel couldn't remember the last time he had exercised. Bent over on the sidewalk in front of the grocery store, he pressed the video link and followed the site's directions to log in to the call. He didn't have any headphones handy, so the conversation would have to broadcast over the phone's speakerphone. Not ideal, but it wasn't like he had much of a choice. Daniel gained access to the call. His own face appeared in the small box at the bottom of the screen, and he saw how pale and out of breath he looked. He straightened up and tried to compose himself. The other user's screen remained blacked out. Both the video and audio were disabled on their end. The activity status, however, displayed that they were currently in the call. Meaning what? They were watching him, listening to him, but hidden. What the fuck is this? He said, embarrassed by the gasp of breath he had to take after. No response. Are you gonna fucking say something or what? Daniel said, one hand to his hip while the other held out the phone in front of his face. Grocery shoppers entered and exited the HEB, giving him looks like he was someone to be avoided, like he might be deranged, dangerous. He ignored them and focused on the dark screen, observing him. If there's a point to any of this shit, get to it or I'm hanging up. The red X indicating the user's disabled audio transformed into a green check. A muffled male voice emitted from the speaker over the generic parking lot noises. Do you believe? He sounded sleepy. Do I believe? Do I believe in what? A stupid question. Obviously Daniel knew what he meant. Dude, were you going to show yourself or what? I didn't believe at first. I thought it was all bullshit. I thought it was a hoax. Daniel took another deep breath and tried to calm his tone. Listen, dude, I applaud you for the crazy marketing campaign, okay? But typically the stuff is reserved for, like, the audience, not the press. I've already read the book, right? That's why I'm trying to contact you in the first place. I didn't write it. What are you talking about? Why are you bothering me with this shit if you didn't write the book? He noticed a woman passing him with a small child in a shopping cart. She gave him a look like, are you seriously using that kind of language with children present? He faked a smile and shrugged. She returned the smile with a middle finger, and the child began laughing and clapping. Then they continued inside the store's automatic entrance. Into the phone, he shouted, Who the fuck are you then? He didn't kill if he sounded angry. He was angry, goddammit. Someone was fucking with him, and he was sick of being the brunt of some unknown joke. I'm just like you, the voice whispered, and now the video icon changed from red to green, replacing the void of Daniel's screen with the color's webcam POV and revealing a sickly gaunt man seated in front of his computer. Just like you. What does that mean? Daniel said. All of his rage drained like pus from a boil. He didn't know how to comprehend what he was looking at. This person, this man, was not well. And Daniel suddenly wished he never checked his inbox today and replied to this DM. He wished he never laid eyes on the human being looking back at him. He wished he never resurrected the unsolicited submission from his trash. Due to the man's malnourishment, his age was unknown. He could have been in his 20s, he could have been in his 60s. He breathed long and heavy, wheezing with each exhale from lungs that sounded wet and clogged. His cheeks were caved in, and his skull protruded against the skin of his forehead. His scalp and face were shaved down to the flesh. He had on a dirty white tank top. Anything below that was unknown due to the way the webcam was pointed at him. He sat inside someplace, maybe a living room, but it was too difficult to tell. Behind him, no less than a dozen wind chimes hung from the ceiling, which blocked from view anything recognizable like furniture or decorations. The wind chimes were not moving. They were completely calm. Daniel was reminded of the book, specifically of the redacted wind chimes chapter, which he had never been able to read. Holy shit, he thought. He stood on the sidewalk looking at his phone screen, waiting for a response. Shoppers dodged him with their curls. He paid them no attention. As far as Daniel was concerned, nothing outside of this video even existed. What do you mean you're just like me? Daniel said, voice weak. His knees felt like a rebel and he wouldn't stop shaking. What do you mean? Have you broken anything yet? Broken what? No, I haven't broken anything. What are you waiting for? Don't you believe? I thought you believed. Daniel studied this stranger's facial features again and wondered, not for the first time, if he was conversing with someone out of their mind. You look unwell, man. Do you need me to call someone? Will you even live? He doesn't always have to take them. It's not about the theft. It's never been about the theft. Okay, Daniel said. He only steals them because he doesn't have any other choice. Because we don't believe enough. But it's better if he doesn't have to. It's better if we give them to him ourselves, if we make an offering, if we prove our faith. The phone was overcooking in Daniel's hands and felt hot to the touch. But he didn't let go. Not now. He would not. Who are you talking about? You know who? He was right, of course. Daniel did know. It was just too fucking silly to take seriously. Too silly to entertain as anything other than a prank. You cannot be serious, man. And the man held up his left hand to the webcam. His thumb and index finger were missing. At the base of each phantom joint were scabbed over nubs. When it comes time to test your faith, are you going to be prepared? Because he's going to come either way. He will collect what belongs to him. What the fuck, Daniel said. And then the man leaned aside. He attended to something off screen. Daniel heard him struggling, but couldn't tell what exactly he was doing. Enough time passed that he debated whether or not he should hang up and join his wife Eileen back inside the HEB. Dude, what's going on? He said, hoping that he wouldn't get a response, but of course he did. I'm almost ready, the man whispered somewhere off camera. Almost ready for what? As if the man had been waiting for Daniel to pose this question, the computer, a laptop he guessed, swiveled around until it faced the opposite side of the room. Daniel spotted a garage door in the background, finally giving an answer to where this man was talking to him from. He was standing now, with his midsection in frame. Daniel had to hold back a gasp. He had never seen someone so thin before. Perhaps in photos on old schlock websites of Holocaust victims, but nothing else, nothing like this. In front of him, between his body and the laptop, was some sort of mechanism that Daniel struggled to comprehend. It was long and consisted of these spirals, like a tube, a roll of some kind. It's designed to make any sense, not right away. The roll was elevated, with nothing beneath it. Each end balanced over a wooden plank to prevent it from falling to the floor. Next to them, on its own table, there seemed to be some type of giant modal engine. What the fuck am I looking at? Daniel said. Oh, this, he pointed to the mechanism between them. This is a tiltion spring. Then, intuiting that Daniel had no idea what that meant, added, you ever wonder how garage drills can so effortlessly lift up and down? He sounded less tired now, re-energized. It's because of these bad boys, extremely strong tilts. Really dangerous. Don't really, I'll demonstrate in just a minute. I think I need to get going. My wife is waiting on me. The man leaned forward over the tiltion spring, squinting at the camera. You wanted to know about Mr. Bones, right? The book. Then he smiled and shook his head. This is about bone milled in a book. In his hands, he fiddled with some type of long strap. This is about so much milled in a book. But to understand, to truly understand, you have to believe. You have to have faith. Daniel stood in front of the grocery store, looking at his phone with this decreasing battery percentage, paralyzed with the utmost certainty that he was about to witness something truly fucked up. Hey man, why don't you tell me your address? Did you know, the man continued, that the strongest muscle in the human body is the masseter muscle? What? Did you know, the man said, swinging the strap back and forth in his mutilated hands, that the masseter muscle is in direct collaboration with the jawbone? In fact, our jaws would be rendered pretty useless without the masseter muscle, wouldn't you say? Okay, Daniel said. I'm telling you this so you understand why the equipment here is necessary. The equipment? He looked at the tiltion spring again, trying to make sense of everything and failing miserably. It's easy to remove your own finger bones. Shit, most of your bones if you have the right determination. You can remove with a simple thing of scissors, maybe a hacksaw. But something like the jawbone? Well, that's not so simple. That takes work. Work most people don't have the tenacity for. Faith is not for slackers, is what I've come to realize. Faith requires sacrifices. To believe in something like this, to really believe, it requires not just a lot, you understand? It requires everything. Are you following me? Do you understand what I'm telling you? Don't answer. I don't need you to answer. I need you to watch. It's the only way you're going to get it. It's the only way you will learn. Learn what? Daniel said, on the verge of crying, and the man said with a twinkle in his eyes, that in this universe there exists things more important than bones. Then he stuffed a portion of a leather strap into his mouth, hooking the other end underneath his chin. Daniel remained standing on the sidewalk, legs weak, unable to look away as the man connected a thick wire to the strap and pulled it taut against the bottom of his chin. After that, he brought out a roll of duct tape and proceeded to wrap it across his lips and around the back of his skull until at least half of the tape had been unraveled, successfully trapping part of the strap inside of his mouth, while the other end remained against his chin, tightly wrapped around his jawbone. What the fuck, Daniel thought, pacing around the sidewalk now, watching as the man then connected the other end of the thick wire to the tiltion spring between them. This wire was long, its exact length difficult to tell, as it seemed to spool at his feet out of frame. What did this mean? What the fuck did this mean? The man gave Daniel a thumbs up with the one hand of his that still possessed a thumb. Then he leaned over and pressed a button on the giant modal next to him. On the phone speaker, a loud grinding noise erupted as the tiltion spring began twisting at a speed that Daniel could only describe as menacing. With each rotation, it wrapped another portion of a wire connected to the man's jawbone. Very quickly, it shortened as the spring consumed more of its length, leading to its conclusion. Daniel did not want to watch this. He did not want to see this, yet he was helpless. He could not look away. He would not. The man stood with his hands folded behind his back, maintaining eye contact with his computer screen, watching Daniel watch him, begging him with his expression not to hang up, not to look away. And God damn it, Daniel would not do that. He would watch it. Then, just as the strapped wire was finally running out of extension, the children's spring began to slow down until it was rotating in this awkward cartoon cat on piano keys motion. Is it stopping, he thought? But the sound coming from the mechanism did not advertise a logical conclusion. Instead, it sounded somehow worse than before, like it was straining with all of its strength, and now the man was wincing and making a noise. A terrible noise of someone who's realized they've made a mistake. That they want to stop before it's too late, but it was obviously too late now. Too late with a noise like that, with a motion like that. Too late. Far too late. And there it was. The split second from no return. The blink of an eye explosion as the children's spring burst apart. A reaction so quick, so sudden that it took his phone a moment to process anything had happened at all. And when it finally caught back up, Daniel could piece together the details, could see the chaotic mess of springs. Yes, but more importantly, he could see the man standing in the same spot, this time without the lower half of his face intact, although not completely removed. No, it still hung a little by a tendon or two, teeth and tongue and whatever else draped against his chest, as if teasing him, as if saying, "You'll not quite feel yet." And somehow, Jesus Christ, somehow the man was screaming. He was screaming without a jaw, without a mouth, a riddle of blood streaming from his exploded face. He was screaming so goddamn loud that Daniel dropped his phone, dropped it to the sidewalk, and said, "No, wait, this was not the sidewalk. This didn't look anything like the sidewalk. This looked like the parking lot." He dropped the phone in the black pavement of the parking lot, the still parking lot, because somehow he now was in the middle of the parking lot, looking at his dropped phone, thinking, "Holy shit," thinking, "Holy fuck." And wait a second, what was that he heard coming from the phone speaker? What was that he heard coming from the jawless screaming? What was it he heard in the man's phone? He heard wind chimes. All the wind chimes in the man's garage rattling at once. But what was hitting them? What was setting them off? Jesus fucking Christ! Who was in the garage with the man on the phone? Who was coming for him? What the fuck was happening? Well, of course he knew. He knew all along. Mistral bones, Daniel thought. A split second before the truck slammed into his body, sending him flying across the parking lot and landing on his left wrist. And he heard the snap before he felt the pain. I have to blow my nose.